Welcome to Flourish in 5. My name is Heather Lawton, and every Friday I share a story, a lesson, or a quick idea with the goal of helping you gain a new perspective. If you could please leave a comment, like, share, review, all of those things would be super helpful and really appreciated. I'm not sure exactly how to intro what we're going to be talking about today, except maybe it's examining or understanding bizarre behaviors that don't make any sense. I don't know. But my mom and I were taking a hike in the woods the other day, and I don't even know how we got on this. Oh, we were talking about eggs. So the chickens have been laying a lot of eggs, and mom likes to gift them to different people at our church. It's something that she really enjoys. She loves her chickens. She loves doing that. And we have other members of our congregation who also have chickens and also give away eggs. And mom went to give eggs to someone, and this person said, "Oh, I already got eggs from this other person." And mom was a little bummed out. She was like, "Oh, they're stealing my blessing." And I said, "Okay, let's examine this. First of all, no one is stealing your blessing. And is that to say that there's only so much blessing? There's like a limited amount that you can give, and then there's an end and you can't give anymore? Or could you bless someone else?" And, she laughed about it because she recognizes how ridiculous it is. My mom is very open. And then we were talking about, oh, I said, "Well, why didn't you give the eggs to, this other person?" And she said, "I didn't want to ask them if they wanted eggs." And I replied, "What do you mean you didn't want to ask? Why didn't you want to ask them if they wanted eggs?" And she's like, "I don't know. I just didn't want to." I said, "Okay, well, there's a reason." And she said, "What? I didn't want them to say no. What if they said no? What if they didn't need eggs and they said no?" And I said, "Oh my gosh, you're right. What if they said no? What would happen then?" And she said, "I wouldn't give them the eggs." And I said, "What would you do next?" "I'd ask another person." "What if they said no?" "Well, I don't want to ask because they might say no." Well, I said, "Mom, what are you making this mean about who you are as a person?" And she said, "It's rejection. They would be, if they say no to my eggs, they are rejecting me as a person." Oh, I said, "Okay. So at your very core identity, if someone says, 'No, Sylvia, I'm not interested in your fresh chicken eggs,' they're saying, 'You are the spawn of Satan, devil, Sylvia. How dare you? Don't you ever, you are a bad person.'" Like, what? What is the stretch here you're making to say that somebody saying no to eggs means rejection? And of course, she recognized, like, this is silly. I said, "Mom, what's another reason they might not want eggs?" And she said, "Oh, I don't know." Like, it took her a second. "Maybe they don't need them." Oh, maybe they don't need them. Maybe they just went to the grocery store and they bought eggs. Maybe they have their own chickens. Maybe they have another supplier. But there could be a lot of reasons, none of which have anything to do with you. Right? Has nothing to do with you if somebody doesn't want the eggs. It's a rejection thing for my mom. If somebody says no to her, she feels rejected. Okay. Well, now that we understand this, it sort of frees us up, her specifically, to ask people now if they want eggs because she understands the way her brain works. Prior to that, she didn't have this understanding, this acknowledgement. So she just didn't ask people because she didn't want them to say no, but she didn't understand why. So it's really important to explore this. Well, as we were talking about this, I said, "Just so you know, I have some very strange behaviors as well. Let me tell you about our big fall festival we have every year. We call it BYOP. It stands for Bring Your Own Pumpkin. It's a carving contest. We invite the entire world. We usually have a ton of people that come, and I absolutely live for it. I plan it a year in advance. There's a planning binder. There are bins and bins and bins of decor in our garage. I mean, it is like we've been doing it for, oh my gosh, over 2 decades, maybe 22 or 23 years. We started doing this before we had children. Actually, maybe even before we were married. No, we were just married. So, okay, anyway, not the point. A lot of years. And I get really strange about inviting people who maybe I don't know really well or haven't come for a lot of years, and some of whom are my family. And I was trying to explore, like, why do I feel strange about inviting them? And I was talking this out with my mom, and I said, "It's like I feel bad inviting them." She's like, "What do you mean you feel bad?" And I said, "I don't want them to feel obligated to come, like they have to come because they were invited." And now that I say that out loud, I'm thinking, oh, because that's how I would feel. If somebody invited me to a party, I would feel obligated to go, whether I really wanted to or not. And so I am projecting my own issues onto everyone else. And I am assuming that by asking someone who maybe hasn't come for a couple years, well, this is really a stretch. I'm making this assumption, we talked about this last week, that people don't want to be bothered, or they don't want to come. If they haven't come for several years, they must hate it. They must hate the pumpkin party. So they don't want to be here. And every year I ask them, every year. And then I think to myself, okay, well, I just won't invite them because I feel badly, or they probably don't want to come. But then how are they going to feel if I stop inviting them? Right? That's rude as well. What's the implication there? Or how about I could just pick up the phone or check in with some people and say, hey, would you like to continue to receive invitations to the pumpkin party? Or, is it not your thing? That's totally fine. I just wanted to check in. And I don't want you to feel like you have to come, but I'm going to send you an invitation. Like, why all the garbage in my head around this pumpkin party? It's not the party itself. It's just my perception of how people will feel if I like hesitate to invite people even over for like dinner or a picnic, because I don't want them to feel like they have to come. And I always say things like, it's okay if you don't want to, like, it's totally okay. I don't want you to feel like you have, why do I do that? I'm not even totally sure, except that I think I'm just projecting my own issues onto everybody else. The point of today's episode is I think it can be really interesting, maybe even a little bit fun and funny. I mean, to me, it was this conversation my mom and I had on our hike was hilarious. If you think about it, the eggs and the pumpkin party and the way we perceive things. But when you talk it out, you gain a new level of insight and understanding for what makes you tick. And I think it can help you in your communication, as well as just understanding how you process things, like, and where it comes from, which just gives you a new perspective. I hope that you found this useful. I'll see you in the next episode.